Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Blokes on a Budget, Tips, Tricks and Money Savers. Except for today's show is not really a Blokes on a Budget sort of topic, not the regular sort of stuff we do. Today I'm doing a review on a pistol. So if you tuned in for the regular sort of stuff, you might be disappointed. But stick around anyway, because you might enjoy it. So the reason I'm doing it here is obviously this is my YouTube channel, and I wanted to get this review out on this pistol, so I have to do it here because it's the only YouTube channel I have. So a couple of months ago, I got myself the 9mm Baby Eagle from Israeli Weapon Industries, also known as the Jericho. And I just had to get on and rave about this thing because I think it's absolutely amazing. Now, at the club I'm at, we have a lot of different pistols there you can shoot whenever you want. So I've shot so many different ones. Before I actually, this is the first pistol I actually got. So before I actually bought this, CZs, Berettas, Glocks, Smith & Wessons, everything you could probably think of. Shot, Browning high powers. And I bought this without actually shooting it because it was the only one around, they're brand new, and obviously you're not going to let you shoot it brand new. And from the information I'd sort of picked up on this thing, the workings of it is built a lot like a CZ, and I've shot a few of those ones, so I figured it would be what I liked. But I really liked the look of it at the time, and I checked out some other YouTube reviews and seemed to have passed with some flying colours. So I grabbed it, and I have not been disappointed. Now, I've also let quite a few people at the range and a few other clubs shoot it, guys who have like their whole life in security industry and even range, people who own the range, stuff like that. A lot of experience, a lot of time in shooting handguns. Everybody's loved this thing. So that's why I feel more than happy to get on here and absolutely rate this thing. It's brilliant. Not only does it look good. Now, as I said, this particular one right here is the steel frame version, not the poly version, which makes it nice and heavy. Here in Australia, to own a pistol, you can't carry it, you can't use it as personal defence. It's for target shooting. So the weight makes it perfect for that job, but you can get it in the poly version as well if you're in another country where you wanted to concealed carry it or something like that. So, but the steel one, made with the weight, makes it really accurate. That thing just sits there, rides up perfectly, comes straight back down where you want it. Now I'm probably about, 100 rounds, maybe less, away from putting 1,000 rounds through it. It doesn't feel any different. It was pretty nice and loose from the start, to be honest with you. The trigger pull's beautiful, and it hasn't misfired once. Nothing's gone wrong with it yet. Not one single one of those near 1,000 rounds. And I've put reloads through it, cheap ammo, expensive ammo. I like to shoot a lot, so generally put cheap stuff through it. Hasn't skipped a beat once, not once. So I've been very, very impressed with it. The magazines. You know how you get new magazines, and sometimes it's like these are 10-round mags because that's the capacity you're allowed in Australia. These magazines are real easy to get the rounds in. The springs aren't that tense. So I know some of the Glocks, man, it takes like forever to sort of get the tension out of those springs. So I was also very impressed with that. Something I was a bit concerned about from the get-go. That was fine. Now I'm not going to get into this. This thing here is just over $1,000 for this pistol in the steel version. It's around $900 in the poly version. So it's competing in the market of the CZs and things like that. And I actually think it's better. To be honest with you, I already said that. I think it does a much better job than that. Just so you don't think I'm a snob, I like plenty of other firearms. I'm a big fan of the 9mm Beretta, things like that. But this thing for target just does really, really well. There's almost, when that slides forward, there's no wriggle in that barrel. It all sits there perfectly. Okay, so how does it work? Just the function of it. I'm not going to go into the details of its rate of fire and how many spins the round does in the barrel. You can look all that up, and who cares anyway. I'm just telling you, the thing shoots awesome. It's obviously it's got the slide lock on the side, like everything else. So if you want to lock a slide, okay. It's got a decocker on it, which is on both sides, which is ambidextrous. So if we've cocked it, hit the decocker there, hammer goes forward. There's also a decocker on the other side. Now that's in safety mode, right? Nothing happens. Now, if we, let's say you were in the Israeli military or the police force and you needed to carry this ready to rock and roll, like as soon as you draw it, you need to use it. You'd do what I did, you'd cock it, chamber around, you'd decock it, and then you would put it back to fire and you'd carry it like that. Now at this stage, it works in double action, so as you pull the trigger, the hammer will come back and it will fire. So you could draw it straight out and shoot straight away, okay, like that. Once the first round's fired, just like everything else, it then goes, slide goes back, slide goes forward, the hammer will be sitting back there and it will just be single action, you can go to town with it. That's that. Now, the other thing it does with the mag, so firing, you know, last round, obviously slide locks open, drop the mag, I almost lost it. Now if we put the mag in without any rounds, you'll see nothing happens. If the magazine had rounds in it, the second you push that in nicely, the slide would go forward on you without having to touch the slide release, and you'd be in business again. So, not that I know much about concealed carry or defensive training with a handgun, I think if you were in a country where you could conceal carry, all those functions sound really good to me, you know, so can't fault it, I don't think. Now it comes obviously with the pistol, it comes with 2 magazines, these are 10 rounds like I said, it comes with some pretty shit cleaning products, you know, just the pull-throughs and things like that. Comes in a little plastic case, just like a Glock or anything else. So there's no security in that whatsoever. So if you don't want to get a new case and you want to use this, what I did is obviously it has to be transported with the trigger lock. So I put a trigger lock through it. And you've got this big thing sticking out the back end of the trigger lock there. So what I did is I just drew a hole in the case, and when, you know, lined it up and drew a hole, so when it's actually sitting in there, the trigger lock can just stick out like that, and you can still shut the case properly and transport it like that. So I think it's pretty. Apart from never jamming, being extremely accurate, and just feeling really great when it fires, it's an awesome looking pistol. I mean, I like the look of it, you know. It looks like completely Future Cop style. And I think if you're going to own something like this, you know, boys and girls, you want it to look good too, right? Let's be honest. That's what it's all about. You can put all your attachments there if you want it. It's a Picanini rail, whatever the hell you say it. I won't be putting anything there. So I'm extremely impressed with it. Absolutely love it. And I don't normally get on here and recommend people getting things, but I had to get on and just add this to the other videos that are out there on this pistol, just so anyone who's looking at it, thinking about getting one, feel very, very sure that if you do buy it, you're going to get yourself a great pistol that I think fires very well, extremely reliable, and I think it's going to stay in good nick and work really well for a long time because, by the way, this one is made in Israel, okay? And I'd highly recommend you get one that is made in Israel, not one under license somewhere else. You know, Israelis are pretty good at building shit that nails people, so I'd suggest you get one of those Israeli made ones. Alright guys, see you next time.